Hi, this is Andrea Schulman again, and in this video, we are on our third video actually of this series on how to manifest your ideal body. And if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 yet, make sure to do that. In part 1, we talked about how your body is a reflection of the mind. In part 2, we talked about the role of inspired action. And in this video, we are going to talk about the role of nutrition. If this kind of content is interesting to you, please note that my Superior Fitness Manifestation Program is currently going on a half-off sale now through July 1st. If you're interested in learning more about how to manifest your ideal body, I'd highly recommend checking it out. And to learn more, I will put a link below in the description. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into part 3 of how to manifest your ideal body. Now, just like with exercise, I talked a lot about this in the last video. Food is symbolic. Food is symbolic. In fact, everything in your reality is symbolic. And this is a really important thing to understand about nutrition, is that what you're eating has kind of a meaning that you have assigned to it. The labels that we put on our food have a direct correlation with how they impact our body. See, food ultimately is a symbol of energy. It's a symbol of energy. It's this idea that I'm ingesting energy. Well, what do I think about the energy I am ingesting? Have I labeled this food as bad? Have I labeled this food as unhealthy? Or have I labeled this food as having positive aspects and attributes? One thing that's very interesting about nutrition, and you've probably noticed this over time throughout the course of your life, is that foods have a way of being good and then being bad. Maybe you've noticed this, like, back in my day, Diet Coke. Diet Coke was the solution for everything. Right. So I'm a product of the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s. And I remember vividly how Diet Coke was touted as this really healthy solution. Okay. Whereas today, a lot of people will tell you Diet Coke is terrible for you. You may have seen this, like I know with things like stevia. Oh, stevia is great. Oh, stevia is the worst. Oh, low-fat diet is the way to go. You don't want any fat in your diet. Oh, wait a minute. We need fat. We need fat. Eat some avocados, okay? And so there's this oscillation between good and bad food because really at the end of the day, all things could have any meaning that we choose to ascribe to them. And so this is an important thing to understand about food and about nutrition, which is that, a particular food is not inherently good or bad. Rather, we place a label on the food and then our bodies will respond to that food with the label we have given it. So in some ways, this is really good news because it means, hey, if you want to manifest your ideal body, it's not about restricting a bunch of calories. It's not about, trying to find the absolute perfect diet. Rather, it's about understanding the symbolism and what you believe about the food that you're putting into your body. So, in my case, this means some really great stuff. It means that I'm allowed to eat pizza, okay? It means I'm allowed to eat ice cream. It means I'm allowed to have, days where I kind of eat a little bit more. But for me, the reason that works is that I've come to identify that it's healthy for me to have those things. Case in point, I've gone the route before of trying to eat as little as possible, or trying to eat a super, super duper clean diet. And one thing that I found was that in doing that, it was actually a form of self-punishment, so we take away everything fun, live on as little as possible. And your body, through the law of attraction, will start to reflect how you're treating it. If you are using your nutrition to punish your body or to punish yourself, it will have negative impacts on the quality of your body. It may reduce your strength. It may make your hair fall out. It may make your nails brittle. It may make your skin look bad. Okay, so we want to be mindful of this is not about when you want to get into your ideal body. This is not the philosophy of let me punish the heck out of myself to get to a certain place. And in fact, if you want to go look this stuff up, by all means, go look at vloggers, bloggers who have done fitness competitions and they've eaten like next to nothing and they've actually destroyed their health and their long-term ability to look good. Okay, so this is something I want you to keep in mind is that when it comes to nutrition, we want to work with the symbolism, but we want to remember that we are the ones placing the symbolism on the food. One thing that is super helpful when it comes to manifesting your ideal body is to be asking yourself, am I loving myself with this food? Am I eating food that is loving and respectful to myself? Loving and respectful to myself. So this means that, sometimes you may need to treat yourself because that's the loving and respectful thing to do. Sometimes there may be certain foods you feel your body needs or you feel would be good for your body to be ingesting. And again, remember, the rules about what those foods are flexible, but it's important that you work inside of those rules if you're not going to change them. So if you think it's self-loving to eat some fruits and vegetables, well, probably a good idea to do so. If you think it's a self-loving thing to do to maybe have the cheeseburger tonight because you didn't eat that much earlier in the day, well, right now, that's the self-loving thing to do. See, through the law of attraction, how we treat our body is how it will reflect. Need to be very mindful if you want to manifest your ideal body that you are treating it with a high degree of respect and self-love. And that is something that is reflected in how we choose to eat, how we choose to nourish our body, and how we choose to interpret the energy through food that we're putting into our mouths. Another thing to consider when it comes to manifesting your ideal body and the nutrition that goes along with it is to be mindful of why you are eating. And to make it your objective as much as possible, to view food as a method of fueling your body for success. Fueling your body for success. What can I eat today that's going to raise my vibration the most? What can I eat today that's going to give me the best quality of energy right now? What can I eat today that's going to make me feel good? Those are the questions you really want to be asking when you choose to eat. And please notice, this is about the quality of how you feel and really tuning into that. And sometimes people do use food to self-medicate. That is not what I am talking about. In fact, this is something to be avoided at all costs. If you're eating food because you're feeling badly and you're trying to just cover up those bad feelings through overindulgence, that's not going to work for you, okay? What I really want you to dial into is what can I eat right now that's going to give me the best quality of vibration, the best feeling long term. So when you're choosing to make food selections, you want to be mindful of this. If I have an option between a few different foods and one of them is going to fill me up, it's going to give me some nice clean energy, it's going to last. I'm not going to feel bad after I eat it. If I have that option versus an option that really isn't going to fill me up, it may taste good right now. It's not really going to fill me up. I may feel like crap after I eat it. Well, I want to be mindful about when I choose to eat those kinds of foods, right? And instead, I want to try and choose foods that I really do believe are going to fuel my body for success. But again, remember, the food itself is flexible. The cheeseburger may be a good choice in some instances. And maybe you've had this experience before, or maybe you just had a really taxing day. Maybe you had a really hard workout. Maybe you had a garage sale all day. I don't know. You had a busy day and your body needs nutrients and it's really screaming for those kinds of foods. Well, you know what? Hey, in that situation, some carrots, not a good idea, right? Carrots aren't going to cut it, right? You need something more in that moment. And so this is what I'm trying to explain is that foods themselves are not good or bad, but Use them appropriately. Use them when they are needed. Give yourself permission to eat the foods you want to eat at the appropriate time. And by appropriate time, I mean, when are they going to fuel me for success the most? But ultimately, when it comes to your nutrition and manifesting your ideal body, we want to be using food again as a means of self-love. What can I eat today that is loving to myself? Loving, not overly restrictive, not self-medicating, not punishing. What is the most self-loving thing that I can be eating? And if this is a new concept to you, and it may very well be, you can always start slow and build momentum through the law of attraction, simply by picking a self-loving food today, picking one of them, and then tomorrow doing it again, and gradually ramping up this idea of making selections. So perhaps when you go to reach for a snack, ask yourself, what is the most self-loving snack I could eat right now? And then eating that and getting used to maybe doing it on the snack level and then bumping it up to maybe breakfast and then lunch and then dinner, and really getting in tune with, this is the food that is the most self-loving to me right now. I'm going to tell you what, it's really amazing what doing this will do for you. I do not restrict foods. I allow myself to eat the kind of foods that I want to eat. I am not going to tell myself, no, you can't eat pizza. No, you can't eat ice cream. In fact, there's an ice cream place down the street. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to shout it out here because who knows? They're a local business and most of you aren't going to have any access to these guys at all. But if you watch my videos and you live where I live, in Vieira, there's an ice cream shop called Maggie's, and their brownie sundae, oh my God. And I eat these sundaes on a fairly regular basis. I'm not eating them every day, okay? Full disclosure. But I would say I get at least a couple of them a month, okay? So I'm all about treating yourself at the right time, when it feels right, when it's not gonna make you feel like garbage, when it's not gonna make you feel bad, but at a time where my body really wants a treat. So hey, in those moments, we're gonna have a treat because that's the most self-loving thing to do. Yes, sometimes the brownie sundae is the most self-loving thing to do. And my fitness includes brownie sundaes. Okay, so I'm not saying cut out all your food. What I am saying is use your nutrition and look at the symbology. Be careful. Each food that you put into your body, what does it represent to you right here and right now? If it is a self-loving choice, it is the right choice for you and for your ideal body. Now, if you've been enjoying this video on how to manifest your ideal body, please do remember that my Superior Fitness Manifestation Program is currently on a 50% off sale now through July 1st for 1 week only. If you would like to learn more of my tips, tricks, and hacks to getting into superior physical condition, I'll be putting a link in the description to this video on that program where you can watch an introductory video. And there's a very long explanation of what all the course includes. And to go ahead and check that out now, please go ahead and look below in the description for that link. Thanks so much for watching part 3 here of how to manifest your ideal body. Remember, part 4 is coming next. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in this next video. Bye-bye.